Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. It's Paula Fern from Manchester, and I'm joined by Jackie Robinson.
Hi.
Hi, and we are doing episode 2 of Roots, Truth and Revelations podcast. So, welcome, grab a brew, grab a drink, sit down, relax. Tell us below if you watched our first episode, which was premiered last week. I have watched it back. We were on fire. We were
Yeah,
on
yeah,
fire,
what?
lady. It was such a lovely energy to the episode. I really enjoyed doing it. So we're here for round 2. So this is episode 2. We're going to talk about quite a lot of stuff today. Just going to touch on a few different topics so that we can discuss them further below in the comments or get
Yeah,
in touch with us directly because we'd love to. The point of what we're doing here is to start conversations, get people thinking, and just start talking about the things that some people don't want us talking about. So we're going to touch on travel. We're going to touch on budget travel and things that are not in the public eye that you can actually use to your advantage in terms of going and seeing the world that people seem to want to keep us away from. We're going to talk about the recent Aurora in the UK and how we may feel about that. We're going to talk about a movie called Day of Destruction. You might not know about this movie, but we're going to tell you a little bit more about that and what that's all about. We're going to talk about the fires in Wyoming, and we're going to talk about high vibes in adversity because I think it's so important to keep
yeah,
that high vibe going on. We were just saying, weren't we, Jackie, that it's okay for us to have differing views. It's okay for us to have discussions and disagree with each other. And it's okay for us to feel that things are kind of crazy out there. But as long as we are keeping ourselves in that zone, in that high vibe frequency, we can still get through it together. So that's really important. And then we're going to touch on International Mental Health Day, something that is very, very close to my heart, and manifesting a positive existence because that is something that we have all of the control over.
yeah.
So,
It's all in here.
yes. So, travel. Now, I am fresh off a plane from Crete. I took I've got 4 children, and I took 2 of my children away to Crete. And in a couple of weeks' time, I'm taking the other 2 to Malaga. And you would think, as a single mum of 4, how the hell is that even possible? Well, I use a platform, and I have done for the last 6 years, that gets hugely, hugely discounted travel. Now, the trip that I've just taken, it was for 5 days in a 4-star hotel, and it cost me £74 all inclusive for those 5 days, everything included.
All three of you.
Free for 3 people. That's not per
Yeah,
person, it's for the whole stay. And the
amazing.
trip to Malaga is £15 for 3 of us. That one, though, just bear
Five
in mind,
drinks.
a bit different. It's not all inclusive, it's half board. So I think I can manage that for £15. And what happens is the travel industry is an absolute beast. You will probably know this. And what I find over the 6 years that I've used this platform is the powers that be and in the travel industry don't necessarily want us to know what those secret hacks are as to how we can go and
Um,
visit and see the world. Now, I got involved with this because for my emotional well-being, I know the importance of travel. Serotonin is released when you're just looking forward to a trip.
yeah,
Dopamine is released when you're looking at images of the background behind me, when you're looking at palm trees. Everything in terms of travel, going for new experiences, it all brings the correct chemicals in your brain to help you feel bloody good. Now,
yeah,
some might say that there are others out there that don't necessarily want us to have too much of that chemical in our brain. So they will try and restrict how we go about getting it. So I have a platform. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but if you want to find out more, come and speak to me direct. But basically, I pay a subscription each month that gives me access to a platform that gives me better than agent prices, better than online search engine prices. Here's something to consider. 95% of the search engines that you use to book your travel are owned by two companies. Look it up, Expedia and Priceline. They have the monopoly on the search engines. Now, if you're doing a comparison between a couple of websites, likelihood of them being owned by the same company is extremely high. I don't like that. I want full transparency. I want to see exactly what's going on, and I want the lowest price possible for me and my family. One of the things I have through this platform is a search engine which brings commission-free prices. I am not a travel agent. If you want a travel agent, that's not me. But it brings back commission-free prices and it's completely independent of those two companies. We have our own. So those are the kind of changes and the kind of a rebellion that I am all for. I want us to be the winners. I don't want
Yeah,
the big
that's full
corporates to
control,
get
isn't it?
there. Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
changed mine and my family's life. And if you want to talk about it further, I'm more than happy to go into detail. But Jackie, I know travel is something you're really passionate about as well.
Oh God, yeah. It's been a lot. I lived abroad for 18 years, and so when I was pregnant with my son, who's now nearly 21, everyone said, "Oh, you won't be able to go traveling now, will you?" And I said, "Well, yes, I will, because
Watch me.
it was so watch me, you watch me. I
Yeah.
am very rebellious, and it did become a passion of mine. And so I didn't have lots of money of a single parent, but I did go all over the world with my son, and my son has now got that, and he's so well grounded because of it. His vision, and he's not scared to go places. He's 20 years of age. He's living in Holland, and that's where I went this week,
Oh,
and paid £79 for a return flight.
amazing.
And again, I didn't have lots of money to, because food's so expensive in Holland, it's ridiculous. But we cooked, we found places, and we had such an amazing week.
Well, you
So
did
we
a
can
bit
do
of a
it.
vlog, didn't you? You did a bit of a vlog of different cultural
Yeah.
differences and things like that. It was amazing. I loved watching it. It was fabulous.
Oh, thanks. I think that's important. Like, why I'm so passionate about travel, and I know you are, Paula, for our kids, is that is the biggest education they'll ever have. Because they learn things so much. And the reason why I did a vlog was only like 2 or 3 minutes. I did about four of them, but and the comparisons were quite amazing,
Yeah.
actually. And I've been to Holland many times, but I've never really thought about it in that way. So yeah. Anyway, you want to see more of those kind of vlogs? I'm going to be doing more.
Yes.
My name is Jacqueline Robinson on Facebook. You can find me there. Yeah.
Sunday name only
So
on Facebook, eh?
what's that?
Your Sunday name only on
Only
Facebook,
my son's
Jacqueline.
name. I always look around when people call me Jacqueline. I'm like, who? Oh, yeah. Oh, bless. Yeah. So the next thing on our agenda
Yes.
tonight is look behind me, folks. Can you see the Aurora? Did you see it last night, Paula?
To be honest, I did not. And I
No,
didn't really
neither
look,
did
I'll be
I.
honest.
And there's a reason why me and Paula probably wouldn't step outside. I haven't been very well actually. I brought a gift back from Holland, which was in the form of a really bad cold. So I've been feeling a bit sorry for myself and having me tinctures and homemade soups and stuff. But I was sat there and all these pictures were coming. Oh my goodness! Look at this aurora! Look at this! Look at this! It's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really understand why people don't apply critical thinking.
Yeah.
It's okay to have an opinion about something, but I think we've never, ever, ever before seen the Northern Lights in
Ever.
Lancashire, ever. So
Apart from
why
a
is
few
it?
months ago, and I will admit I did go out and see them and I did take some pictures and it looked beautiful, but I knew this is not normal. This is
Yeah,
not okay. This is not how it's supposed to be.
no, it's not. And so again, we're not going to go too much and we're just dripping things in. So if people want to do more research on why we think that it's not the real Northern Lights, is check out HAARP. That's HAARP. RP.
Yeah,
And he got all the information. It's all there. It's all government website. It tells you everything. Again, on my Facebook page, I do put things like that so people can check it out for themselves. I'm not here to do research for other people, but
yeah,
I'm here to spread some seeds.
absolutely.
And
And this might be complete news to some people. Um,
yeah,
we're in circles where we find out a lot of things that the general public have no idea. So if this is complete news to you, just take what we're saying, go and do your own research, and then make your own decisions because
yeah,
I know both of us, Jackie, we don't need everyone to be agreeing with us. It doesn't matter
no,
to us whether you agree or whether
yeah,
you don't. What matters to us is that you use, like Jackie said, that critical thinking and you do your research and you find out for yourself where you lie within these things,
yeah.
these lies that are happening.
So when I was in Holland, my son is a biology student, so very science minded, and I've always told him question everything you're being told, including me. Now that was my first mistake
It
because
is
now
because I do the same with
he
mine.
questions me more than anybody else. And so whilst we were sat outside, it was beautiful weather, by the way, in Holland. It rains a lot in Holland, but it was beautiful weather. But I was sat aside, and I haven't seen any chemtrails. If again, and
Oh,
people might not know what they are. There's contrails and there's chemtrails. Contrails are what comes from regular flights, and then there's chemtrails, and they look very, very different. So I could see that they were chemtrails as I was sat there, and they were all crisscross, a lovely design in the sky. And I said, Zach, come and sit here, and you can see. And it was amazing. And he's never really you don't want to overload your kids
no.
because they should be having the best time or not thinking too much about this and still lie vibing. So I'm very, very careful, but I do want him to understand. So, and I think this is a key thing, isn't it, Paula, that we need to be teaching our kids about questioning
Yeah,
everything at school. Yeah. And what your parents
absolutely.
tell you as well, in the nicest possible way. So, yeah. So, artificial aurora is everything by AARP. That's all I'm going to say on the subject. It was big this morning, and honestly, every page I looked at, and they were beautiful. It is beautiful, I have to say. But because I know what I know, I could not go outside because actually, it is potentially very dangerous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
this is
And dangerous for who? Dangerous for everybody when you're putting chemicals in the sky and it affects the weather because it's geoengineering and it is changing the weather. And so I'll move on to the next topic
yeah,
quickly because I don't want to keep going on about that topic, but it's something you need to research yourself. And the next topic is actually, I found this out today. There is a movie that was made in 2004. And if you've got some time this weekend and you want to have a movie, check out a movie on Netflix or wherever. It's called Day of Destruction. And it was brought out in 2004. And it's a sci-fi movie. And it's about a storm that's in America and it's heading its way to Florida. And woe and beyond, Paula, guess what it's called?
what?
It's called Storm Milton. What have we just had this week, Paula?
Gosh, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, Storm Milton. So, we can see lots of things in movies that there is lots of plans, as mad as it seems, but you only need to look at Simpson. I
I
only
mean,
watched
tell us below what you've seen that relates to our real world. There's a lot of people that say that movies like The Matrix is actually a documentary. And there's lots of movies out there that kind of and The Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. And when I first was watching it, when it was first out, it's like really entertaining. And now I know what I know now. It's like, holy crap.
OMG. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to watch it again, actually. I mean, is it about 20 years old, The
I think
Matrix?
so. Shush, don't give me age away, Jackie. But yeah, I think so.
Obviously, you watched it when it had been out,
Yeah.
over 30. But yeah, it's important to watch these things and educate ourselves. Let's keep educating ourselves and making opinions. So, like Paula said, write down below what you think. You know, you might think,
Hello.
actually, I did put something on Facebook, and
Yeah,
I am always very polite, aren't I, Paula? I'm a very
of
polite
course.
person.
Yeah.
And you know, people were really, really rude. You know, saying, you know,
Really?
you're a nutcase. You're a nutcase if you don't believe that the aurora is real. Of course it's real. But which is fine. It's fine to have that opinion, but you don't need to be mean, you know.
I think that
And
speaks more from fear, um,
yes, so,
knowing the human psyche as well. It speaks
yeah,
more from fear because it's kind, I mean, it is kind of, some of these concepts are mind blowing. And
yeah,
trust me, I have been down some rabbit holes and I thought,
me too.
I don't know if I can climb back out of this one because it's so intense. So when these things are being shared, it's really, if we're so tunnel visioned and so blinkered and we don't have any awareness or concept to question anything, it's bloody scary, to
It
think that could
is. It's
even
very
be a
scary.
possibility. So
Mhm.
I know how polite you are. I know how compassionate you are for people that may not understand things in the same way that we do. And I know that you will have sent them away with as much compassion and love as you could. But
Yeah,
people do need to have a bit more awareness and just investigate, investigate,
yeah,
investigate, investigate.
yeah. And that's all we can do is throw seeds
Yeah,
out there and do your investigation. Of course, like Paula said, you'll be going down some rabbit holes
yeah,
and you can't unsee what you find out. And then you want to find out more. And I think Paula and I are at the same stages, aren't we? We've been down a lot of rabbit holes and you know, and actually we had no one to support us at that time. And
yeah,
so it was very difficult. But this is why we're here, is that we know this stuff and we can support you.
yeah,
We can support you as you find
absolutely.
it out.
We
And
want to
because,
support you. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's the whole point of what we're doing. But also, it's important that people know because the truth is unveiling every day. And I believe personally, in the next 12 months, a lot of the stuff that we found out is going to be out there and people are going to struggle. So it's a good idea to come on here and let's show you how to high vibe. It's happening for a reason so we can get to a better world, I believe.
100%. I am totally with you there.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring something in, and Paula, that
Yeah.
perhaps you can talk about this a little bit more. I vibing in adversity. What do you do?
Well, I do a few different things and I really go in intuitively. So one of the first things that I would say is really try to get in touch with that inner voice that you've got. Something that you can physically do if things are getting a little bit too much is actually put your hand on your heart because that gives an actual physical reaction in your body. Close your eyes and take a few deep grounding breaths. And that is the first thing that you can do. And try not to choke like Jackie might be.
Sorry.
Because that kind of does it goes through all the calm, you see. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But yeah, just try and take a few breaths. But something practical that you can do is get a notebook. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of
Journaling.
journaling. I do journal very often, and I think from a psychology background and a counseling background, it's good to get all the crap out of here or out of there somewhere else. Journaling is as good as anything to do that. So get a notebook, open it up. On one side, if you've got thoughts going through your mind that you're worried about, or that you feel that you're limited in, or that you think you can't do, whatever it might be that is negative, that is bothering you, write that on the left-hand side of your book. And then on the right-hand side, when you've had a moment taking those breaths, really getting back in touch with yourself, reframe whatever that sentence is. And that new
Yeah.
sentence can be a regular affirmation that you use to just bring yourself back to being you. Because we were meant to be high frequency. That's who we are. We are sovereign beings and we are meant to be high vibing, high frequency. It's only when all the crap is piled on us that it kind of lowers that. So you can bring yourself back to that state by doing just little things like that. But that's one of the major things that I do if I'm really kind of drowning. I just take a
Yeah.
step back and I write things down.
I love that. And the key, it's key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned frequency there. I listen to high frequency
Yeah.
music all the time, and you just get it on YouTube. It's very, very easy. There's different ones you can use, but it music, and in fact all your five senses are so important that we engage them. And when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, and to be fair, I was feeling a bit overwhelmed this morning with all this Aurora business, and
Yeah.
I took myself out for a walk
Yeah.
in nature. That is key for me. I have to be in nature, and being around trees particularly. As you get to know me, I'm a little obsessed with trees,
Yeah.
because, oh my goodness, the energy they give out and being around them. There's enough trees around, and yet you'll often see me hugging one.
Yes, me too. I bloody
Um,
love trees.
oh, they're amazing. And, the fact that they have their own interconnection. I'm actually reading a book at the moment. It's called The Secret Life of Trees.
I have
It,
that book. It's awesome.
oh,
It's
you
so
read it? Oh,
good.
right.
Yes.
It's
Go on.
such a great book, and it's really telling you how they all interconnect.
Yeah.
So it's not good to see a tree on its own or a person, is it? So we need to learn from nature and the interconnection um, underneath, like the roots. They will look after you if you're feeling poorly. You're like, you're the bad cough. Paula's reaching out, sending her frequency to me, to me, and that's how we should be. And the more we learn about trees and about nature and about plants, and understand they are the more powerful than us, and we need to live like
There's
that, I
so much
believe.
we need to learn. I mean, there's the root connection, root connections. Woohoo! But those that network that
Yeah, it's
intertwines
amazing.
everything. I mean, look it up, guys. It's on Google. It's incredible because it's a proper community that communicates. And you wouldn't think that just walking past a few trees in a wood, but they
Yeah,
do, and it's
yeah.
mind blowing. And we need
And
to
you
learn to do the
and you
same
never see
for
trees
each
the
other.
same, do you? After that, I can't see trees the same. I
No.
almost see them as like us, really.
Yeah,
I treat them with a lot more respect, a lot more
even the
respect.
way the branches grow
Yes, yes.
above can they grow in a certain way because they can reach out to each other or they can leave gaps for each other depending what's below in the foliage. All of that. I mean, how bloody intelligent is that? And it's a bloody tree. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah, it's called mycelium,
yeah,
isn't it? The interconnection, and they make sound frequencies as well. They talk to each other. They actually do. And so, on with Root Connections, we've got a membership called Mycelium for
yeah.
this reason, because we're all about community. Community. This is what we're growing. Our community, our mycelium community, where we all help each other. And we're not always high vibing. I'm not always high vibing. Paula's not. So we need to help each other. And we live very much and work very much as sole providers. So we need that. And if you are a sole provider watching this, as a well-being provider or anything, you want to learn more about it, hit us up, connect with
Definitely.
us, and join our mycelium.
Constantly.
Yeah. So that's just a few tips. We've got a lot more, and we will be coming up with that. I did want to mention something else that's happened this week, Paula,
Yeah.
which bothers me a lot. We know about the Aurora happening. We know about Storm Milton, which has been very sad, but actually it did downgrade, so it wasn't as bad as people thought.
Mhm.
But what they have not been reporting, which really annoys me, is the fires in Wyoming, in
Yes.
America.
Yeah.
It's devastating. 100,000 acres. of
Wow.
national park. It's called Bighorn. I've never been, but
Yeah.
it's called Bighorn National Park in Wyoming, and it's 100,000 acres that have been destroyed. Why have we not heard about that, Paula?
See, why have we not heard about it? Why do you think? Because that is absolutely shocking. And
I think,
this is something we touched on last time. They are
yeah,
very, very choosy as to what is reported, and there's always a reason. And this is what we say in Ask the Questions, because why do we not know about that? I think I've seen some posts from American friends on social media. I've not seen anything in mainstream media or in
nothing.
any news places, but I think I've seen a couple of posts, but I don't know anything about it really. And
Well,
I
this is
didn't know it was
what I
that
found
big.
out. The research that I've done,
Yeah,
because I couldn't understand why wouldn't you hear about something like that?
shocking.
It's massive, and I've seen the pictures. If you look, you just go on YouTube, you see
Yeah,
Wyoming fires,
yeah,
you'll see it. But so Black Rock, which again is one of the biggies, you
yeah,
know, the
yeah.
elite, there's 1% of
Hmm.
our world. We're owned by all of them. So Black Rock is one of the biggest ones, and well, they have invested in mines, both in North and South Carolina, but also in Wyoming,
Yeah,
because they are the highest producing of lithium. Now, we know that lithium is for our batteries in electric cars, which
yeah.
they're push agenda,
Oh,
and they need it. But you know, they can't just go into a beautiful forest and start chopping trees down.
oh, that is heartbreaking, Jackie. That really is upsetting.
I wanted to mention it. And I know that we will bring this topic up again, but I want people to just gently have a look why that might be. There's also, I mean, I can't name the name of the metal, but it's for computers. And of course, we are now in completely a digital world.
Yeah.
I noticed in Holland, this is something, parents, I noticed that I couldn't use cash. I struggled to use cash.
Nowhere.
I mean, there were some places, but very
Very
few. The
few.
trains,
Oh
I
God.
couldn't use cash. And so this is the way it's going, isn't it? Here we know that anyway.
Yeah.
But once we've got rid of cash, it's going to be a big problem because you only need to have a power cut. What's going to happen then? What about people who, homeless and people like that? Something we've got to think about. But anyway,
You
we'll
know,
just
I
leave that
mean,
one there.
yeah, I mean, that is a huge topic in itself. And I was about to say something, but I'm not going to because we'll end up going digressing on another kind of rabbit hole. And I mean, this is huge. The fact we're moving away from cash so easily just baffles my head. And it's a really interesting point as to why that is happening and how that is coming about. And that will be a topic for the future for sure. And if anyone
Again,
would like to come on and
comment.
speak to us about it, have a chat with us about your opinions on any of these topics, tell us below because you're more than welcome. This is an open platform for
Yeah,
anyone to come and speak about this.
yeah, definitely, 100%. That's what it's all about. So on yesterday, was it yesterday,
It,
Thursday, the 10th of the 10th was International Mental Health Day. Very
yes,
important,
yes,
very important.
absolutely.
And although saying all of that, we should recognize it every day. I always say to people, mental health, we all have it.
Yeah,
People seem to think, oh, only certain people have got mental health. No, we've all got physical health. Everyone accepts that. But
yeah,
people don't seem to accept that we've all got mental health.
yeah,
You seem to think like it's a big scar on your personality. We all have it. Of course, we've all got a brain. We're all, and sometimes it's low vibing and sometimes it's high vibing.
yeah,
So I think it's interesting. Something I want to explore in the future podcasts
yeah.
is numbers 1010,
And
which
ten.
was a portal
Mm-hmm.
for manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite topics. I love manifesting. And it works, folks. It really works if you do it for the better good.
Yes.
So yeah, Paula, do you want to what do you do for manifesting for positive existence? Because you are a positive
Well,
girl.
I'll tell you a story actually from my recent trip that is it's not really about our vibe as such, but it's just how manifestation can so easily work.
Yeah,
So I was away with my daughters, and on our way home, I had our boarding passes, and we were in Greece, and we went to scan our boarding passes to go through to security and everything. And mine said access denied. And I thought, oh my God, they're onto me. I didn't really. But she waved me through anyway and said it doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go anyway. And when I booked the tickets, my eldest daughter, unfortunately, was sat 2 rows in front of me and my youngest daughter. So my eldest daughter's 16. I think it might be a certain age when they can sit on their own.
yeah.
So my youngest daughter was sat with me, but my eldest daughter was sat 2 rows ahead, and she was a little bit anxious about it. So anyway, we're waiting in the airport, and she's like getting more and more wound up and really like worried about it. And I'm like, look, we're knackered. Just go to sleep. You'll be fine. So we get to the gate to go on board, and it says access denied. I'm like, oh, staying in Greece then. She said, and she was Greek, and there was a bit of a language barrier, but she basically said that our seats had been changed, but they'd not been updated my end, and we were all sat together. Now, my daughter, from the time we jumped into the taxi to get to the airport, was like, "We're going to sit together, Mum. We're going to sit together. We're going to sit together, Mum. We're going to sit." And that she's a bit ADHD, and she's a bit autistic. She's got some neurodivergence going on, and she's like, "Mum, we're going to sit together. We're going to sit together." She manifests like that. That is not the first time that she's done something like that. Our seats had all been put together, and we went and boarded the plane, and we were all sat together.
Oh,
And
I
that
love
is
that.
just how, I mean, that's kind of a bit around the houses as to how manifestation can work, but that's how simple it can be. If you
Yeah,
truly believe that something will come into existence, it can happen. And things
yeah.
can
And for
change
the
in your
better
favor
good, which it was for the
and for
better
the
good.
better good, because she
You
was
know,
very anxious. Yeah,
and simply, I mean, like you say, it was a simple thing, but it wasn't simple for your daughter. And it
exactly.
happened. And I've had so many, and I have more and more faith now over these things. And, you know, simple things like you're running late. I'm always running late. So I always think I've like 60 minutes is longer for some reason. But anyway, when I want a car parking space, now I manifest car parking spaces. And I'll tell you now, 9 times out of 10, they will be there. In fact, 10 times
Same.
out of 10, they
Yeah.
will be there because, you know, it is a crazy little thing that, but we can manifest bigger things for us. And for example, manifesting my trip to Holland, I wanted to go and see my son. Did I have the money? Not really. And I know Holland's quite expensive, but thought, no, no, I'm going. Come on, angels,
And
help me out here.
yeah,
I'm
and you know
going.
what the secret is? It's surrendering, isn't it? Because I
Yeah,
used to when I first came across the secret, for anyone that doesn't know that, that's a
yeah, yeah.
really good basic introduction to the law of attraction. And it actually inspired me to become a law of attraction coach. I am a certified law of attraction coach because I find it absolutely fascinating.
It's
But
amazing.
when you go on that journey, when it comes to manifesting things, it's about that complete surrender, and that's the hardest thing to do because we're not used to doing it. So
Yeah,
surrendering and that complete trust that this is what is going to be that is my
that's the
reality now.
reality.
That's happening.
Yeah.
That's,
It's absolutely, you have to believe, really believe in it.
yeah,
And that is the hardest thing, actually, is giving over the control, like, okay.
it's got to be
And
completely unwavering, and
yeah,
it's the toughest thing. But when you do that, that's when it happens. That's what I'm noticing.
yeah,
'Cause I've manifested a
definitely.
lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, just put it out up there. And anyway, we'll be talking more about these things and
Yeah.
spirituality and how it all works. But we're just touching base and throwing things in. And I think we've already gone well over again. But we're
No.
loving this, aren't we?
It's so much fun though. I'm loving this. I love these conversations.
Yeah. And it's conversations we should openly have. So I noticed I've just watched it back today for the first time, and we have 50, sorry, 50 people watched our last one, which doesn't sound very many, but I'm quite happy with that
I'm
for our
very
first one.
happy with that. That's
Yeah.
fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.
Subscribe,
And get
subscribe and
involved.
share. Get it out everywhere. This is
Yeah.
something new, but it is, I mean, we talk about manifestation. This is taking off. It's going to be huge. And we want
Yeah.
your voice on here too. We want to speak to you. We want you to express your opinions. We want you to come and speak to us. So please do so. Comment below if you've seen it anywhere on YouTube, social media. I am going to be uploading to Spotify very soon as well, so you'll be able to just hear our beautiful voices as well. Uh, so yeah, look out for it everywhere. We are taking this everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm
we
excited.
are. We're serious about it. We know this is what we're being called to do,
Yeah.
our purpose. Not just this, but this is a great way of getting the word out. So thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, we'll be bringing in the guests, telling you all about the guests, and it's going to get very exciting. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.